Hi, my name is Tristan. I am 19. I am a member of the Youth Advisory Committee and One of Us, and I've been kind of putting my energy towards One of Us lately, but previously I've been highly involved in my community through the Boy Scouts organization. That kind of resulted in just the way I was raised. I've always looked to try to do the right thing and cause like positive change and, just kind of be a good force for the world. That process in my youth kind of resulted in building me to who I am today and what work I'm doing today. The first project that I remember clearly, I was around maybe like 7 or 8, and my parents were having a garage sale, and I remember seeing all these stories about like lemonade stands. So I wanted to run my own little stand. So we got these like sparkling waters, and I decided I was going to put a decent portion aside for charity. The charity I chose to do was the local children's hospital we're with, since they were opening kind of like a new wing. And I remember going in when they were celebrating that new wing opening, and it was like $7. That wasn't much. I was able to meet like one of the higher executives of the hospital and give him those $7, and he personally shook my hand and then like kind of took me aside, took a picture with me and said, "This is going on our website." And he said, "Impacts like this is what keeps us running. This is what have us do the good work that we're doing." And that kind of stuck with me, was the fact that it was $7, but this small thing meant so much. And that kind of helped me continue being like, hey, if I might not be able to do the big thing, but I can do the small thing, and maybe I can do some big things too. One of my favorite projects is actually my Eagle Scout project. For those of you who are watching that might not know, in Scouts, if you want to earn the highest rank, which is Eagle, one of the requirements you have to do is you have to do a service project for someone, something. With my Eagle Scout project, I want to be kind of unique on it, and I was trying to search up what is a problem that I can solve that, most Eagle projects might not go after. And I kind of looked at like the systems, the foster system and the probation system were the two that came to mind. And I wanted to do something to kind of like help the kids that were in those systems. So I raised some money, and I was able to put together around 40 different bags that had a bunch of like different necessities in it, like toiletries, towels, maybe like a couple jackets. I know we had like some pans and such. And I was able to, split that between the foster system, and I had a contact with the probation system. So I was able to give 20 bags there. Kind of stuck with me because I didn't get to see the impact personally, but I kept in contact with my probation contact. And a couple years later, I asked, "Hey, how are things going?" And he was like, "We're still giving out these bags." I never got to meet anyone involved that maybe received, bags from the foster or probation systems, but a lot of those kids were really down in luck. Maybe it was a mistake they made for the probation system, or, a personal thing for foster care or something in between. But, trying to think about it personally, I think it must have been kind of powerful and like comforting in a way to know that even though you're in this situation, there are people out there that want to help you. There's two things I would say that go with, difficulties and how they're overcome for me. The main one is the environment. A majority of the projects I've done were during COVID. Was kind of navigating that system to make sure that people were safe, and also kind of trying to reinvent the wheel in terms of how do we still do these events in a way that it still helps people. One example of this was during COVID, we set out totes, and people were able to come by and put in food in these totes. And then once we had enough food from people driving by and noticing we're holding these tote events in the neighborhood, we're able to take that and then deliver it to the food pantry for people. The second thing, difficulty with managing myself, because with all of these projects, a lot of it is I have to be confident in my own self-ability to go out there and try to do these new things. A couple things I'm working at is trying to try new things, get myself out there more. But, I have a bunch of different things. I have a physical disability. I have ADHD, social anxiety, and a lot of stuff like that kind of compounds. So it's trying to navigate the eternal feelings of kind of self-worth and self-capability, as well as these conditions I have to try to find ways that I can make an impact, even though I may not be able to do so like other people who are more able. So this is an idea I actually thought of for a while, and involves kind of like career building with Legos. The idea I had is there's a whole bunch of these cheap little sets like this one that is like a little space shuttle. And the idea is I'll just use the space shuttle one as an example. Get like 15 of these, go to a local library, try to get like a teacher or maybe industry professional who's worked in the space industry before. And then as these kids are building Legos and they have access to learning about, this potential career field they would go into. So that way, it's at a local library, you can reach out to people who, might not have access to these type of career resources usually. Best case scenario, they see a future career they'd be interested in and try to push towards that in the future. It's one thing I'm really excited for, just seeing all these people coming together for a great cause. And, hopefully this will come out after it's announced. But, since, the people from Minecraft Ultimate are involved, it's going to be a really fun event. And, all of these creators coming together, a huge list of them, and just seeing them compete and wonder who will come out on top. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, seeing what happens. So I've thought about this a lot, and there's a lot of good ones, but the one that kind of stuck out with me the most was his introduction in The Dream SMP. I just feel like that is a very iconic moment, the way he was introduced, and it's just like something from a movie.